Good afternoon. I am Andrea Chisholm with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. Minister of Transport and Mining Robert Montague says the government is drafting new legislation to give Jamaica access to funding in the event of oil spillage at sea. The minister was speaking at a symposium in St. James for Transport Ministers of the Caribbean. He said with 33% of crude oil passing through the region, it's important for countries to formulate the legislative framework to preserve and protect the ocean.
Maritime pollution by ships, overfishing, marine litter, and coastal development could endanger efforts to harness the potential of our seas for sustainable development.
To a TVJ News follow-up now, the ban on conch, which was slated to begin tomorrow, March 1, until the end of January 2020, will be extended. The extension is to accommodate the time it takes for conch to mature, which is between 4 to 5 years. Speaking on Smile Jamaica on Thursday, Director of Fisheries in the Agriculture Ministry, Conch, indicated how the ban will be monitored.
The Honourable Minister Ardeshaw has been in discussion with the Honourable Prime Minister and of course his colleague minister in the Minister of National Security to assist us to beef up the policing. We have been having discussions with a company that can provide satellite imagery of the Pedro Bank.
In the meantime, Chairman of the Island Fisher Folks Association, Sidney Francis, says his organization has been already looking at alternatives.
Sit with the fisheries division and work out even with the lobster, you know, because the lobster is there, and we are going to try and see how we can kind of intermix with the local fishing people, the artisanal people, along with the industrial people, and see how we can come up with something to keep them going until it conquers.
Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Darrell Vaz, is urging young people to stay in their communities and create jobs instead of working for someone else. While addressing them in Clarendon, he stressed that some problems could be solved if young people invested more in their communities. TVJ's Kalisha Williams has that story.
Clarendon has been plagued with crime. Now, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Darrell Vaz, believes at least one initiative will be able to give the parish a fresh start. That is the Clarendon Youth in Business Educational Program, which is now in its third phase.
We are aware of the challenges which beset the parish of Clarendon, like many other areas. I am, however, confident that as this initiative grows from strength to strength, it will be instrumental in transforming the lives of our youth.
However, Mr. Vaz is urging those who have left the program to consider returning and creating their own businesses in the parish. His reason, urban areas are already stressed and Clarendon needs fresh new minds.
The time has come for us to look at staying and working within our communities to build our parishes. And one way of doing that is by creating job opportunities. In doing so, not only will we be creating prosperity for the residents at the local level, but we'll be reducing some of the stress on urban planning. The impact on housing and traffic congestion in our capital, inevitably, crime will decrease.
He has also given the commitment that his ministry will be willing to help.
The Ministry of Economic Growth has a number of agencies under it which can be of great assistance to your initiative and specifically to the other young business leaders and entrepreneurs who are willing and able to take that risk to go out there. And what they are short of is obviously working capital, etc.
Kalisha Williams, TVJ News.
The police in St. Catharines South Division say they're keeping a close watch on the Old Harbour area where crime continues to be a concern. Addressing a town hall meeting on Tuesday, the police say they are not approving permits for entertainment events in certain hotspots like Old Harbour Bay and Dagger Bay.
these areas, it is a no-no for events. Because we know that when persons gather for these events, and persons have their enemies at these events, and them got to exact whether it be revenge or reprisal through things, they are not trying to identify who they want to shoot, you know. They're going to shoot 6 and 7 people.
DSP Duncan says there have been 5 reported murders in the area so far this year, compared to 4 over the same period last year. Meanwhile, a resident is urging the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation to urgently address law and order in another section of the town.
Business people, you know, and I support all those people who build shops and wholesale at Gutters Corner. Them have to survive. They are smart. But where are the officers of the municipal corporation who, when they put up the first stall, should have got to them and say, hey, listen, you shouldn't put it here, so it is not allowed. They have now put up a mall out there. You can't cross the road. Trailers park. What are we going to do about those?
And the principal of Old Harbour High, Linton Ware, is urging the authorities to put safety measures in place to better protect students who are at the mercy of unruly motorists. Addressing the town hall meeting, Mr. Ware commended the move to put in sidewalks for the children, but says guardrails are also needed, among other things.
The end of South Street, right at the train line, if we have flashing lights at 10 minutes to 12 o'clock, indicating to our motorists, school will be dismissed in 10 minutes time. So we have those lights saying to our motorists, drive with care at this time. And for us to have another light, almost at the top of South Street as well, near the Walkers Road area.
On the issue of traffic congestion, he suggested the municipal corporation reopen Sharper Lane, which was closed off from vehicular traffic when the highway was being constructed.
Those individuals who are living in New Harbour Village 1, 2, and 3, if the Sharper Lane area was open, there would be no need for them to come into the town of Old Harbour. So here it is, an error have been made. What we need to do now is to correct the error.
The government will be increasing early childhood support in the 2019-2020 fiscal year. Education Minister Ruel Reid says $346 million will be allocated to provide stipends, nutritional support, school materials, and training.
But I know the stipend that we have been providing is very small. Some of them depend entirely on what we give for the adjustment. And so as a caring minister and government, I've asked Dr. McLean and Tricia to do the calculation and come back to me, because I've allocated an amount that will give them a movement commensurate with the movement of the public sector workers.
70% of Jamaican parents unable to pay for early childhood education. Mr. Reid says the Brain Builder Centers coming on stream will create more opportunities for children. He says the Early Childhood Commission, ECC, will be responsible for establishing 126 Brain Builder Centers with 2 in each constituency.
Constituencies that parents after maternity leave, at 3 months old, we can take those children, give you assistance in the establishment of these Brain Builder Centers. There are going to be those nurseries that will be provided free of cost by the state.
Mr. Reid was speaking at the reopening of the Liberty Hill Infant School in Dumbarton St. Anne last week. The institution was destroyed by fire in 2014 but was rebuilt at a cost of $22.2 million, which was funded by the Culture, Health, Arts, Sports and Education Chase Fund. Investment Minister Audley Shaw is again batting for more capital to be made available to the micro, small and medium-sized enterprises sector. Data from the Jamaica Business Development Corporation revealed that 73% of businesses in the sector depend on capital for financing and to expand and increase production. Mr. Shaw says efforts are being made to make more funds available through access to money in dormant accounts. There is approximately $50 billion in dormant bank accounts, but there are legal issues to surmount to get those funds.
Says can be returned to government until after 15 years. And in our system, after those 15 years, you know who's been having fun with those funds.
He says internationally, governments are able to draw down on dormant funds between 5 and 7 years, and Jamaica needs to reduce the number of years in which dormant funds can be accessed. Mr. Shaw was speaking during the 2020 function. Well, he was speaking at the PSOJ Breakfast Forum this morning. Motorists who travel along the Rock Bridge in Falmouth, Trelawney will have to use alternative routes as the bridge is closed to facilitate the reconstruction by the National Works Agency. Community Relations Officer for the Western Region, Janelle Ricketts, says the closure is necessary as the bridge has been compromised and is unsafe for vehicles. She says recent inspections of the bridge revealed that key components were worn out.
The projects that we've done so far is in terms of building revetment walls. Due to the location, it's adjacent to the sea, so the constant wave action undermines sections of the roadway. So over time, we have constructed several sets of revetment walls along this particular stretch in an attempt to protect the roadway from coastal action.
Ms. Ricketts says the agency will be doing all in its powers to ensure that the bridge will not be destroyed again by high tides.
In terms of rock revetment, it tends to slow the wave action in that there is not a direct impact on the roadway. So the rock revetment will act as a barrier between the waves and the roadway, thereby protecting the road surface.
Meanwhile, one motorist took issue with the closing of the bridge.
You can't just close that. Close it, just put up a sign and say close and say tomorrow man, no road. No man. If you think a joke, come back tomorrow and look on it and see what happens tomorrow. And look what happens for the rest of the week while I go on. Madness, I'm have to work me back. Madness. Never work.
People want to drive a road?
No man, oh gosh man. I'm far, you have to drive go around so now, you know. We can't barely find gas to go straight. But this is not a road and you have to find extra gas tomorrow for go around so. No man, no sir. We're going to drive by the same way. I want to say close.
Motorists traveling from Falmouth towards Marthabury may use market streets. Those who enter the town of Falmouth from the direction of Duncan's are advised to travel via the Marthabury Main Road, which takes motorists onto Market Street in the town. And in sports, international football returns to the National Stadium on Thursday when Jamaica's national senior women's team face their Chilean counterparts in the first of two friendly internationals. The teams are using the games to fine-tune their preparation ahead of this summer's FIFA World Cup in France. TVJ's Karen Madden has our preview.
World Cup debutants Jamaica and Chile are looking to sharpen up on fitness and strategy when the two meet on Thursday. When we caught up with both teams on Tuesday, they were chomping at the bit to get going. The South Americans achieved their highest ranking of 38 in December of 2018, and like the Reggae Girls, are making their first appearance at the FIFA showpiece. Marie Cote Rojas starred in Chile's campaign at the recent Copa America, where they finished the runner-up in a campaign where they defeated Argentina 4-0.
Well, my team is, we've been working together now 2 years. So for Thursday, we expect good performance from everyone. I think everyone is getting ready in each of our clubs, so that's good, that's positive. We are playing overseas, also that's really, really good for the youngers, you know, like we can teach them and make them improve. So I think it's really important, this preparation in our game on Thursday.
And they are well aware of the strength of the Jamaicans.
Well, they're pretty fast, as you know, they're very, very quick, good team. We have a lot of respect, so we hope to versus them and play against them and performs good and have a good game.
Jamaica's assistant coach Lauren Donaldson and goalkeeper Nicole McClure spoke about their expectations of the game.
Well, I mean, you want the player to win, but you also want the player to look at the players that you have, because we're building this thing and it's not going to be a one-day thing. So obviously, as I said, the game is to win it, first and foremost. That's a part of building, but we also want to expose our players to different stuff and look at some new players and just see what we have.
It's going to be very competitive. They're hungry just as much as we are. It's their first time in the World Cup, so it's going to be a battle for sure.
Thursday evening's game kicks off at 7 o'clock inside the National Stadium, with the teams facing each other again on Sunday at 7 p.m. at the Montego Bay Sports Complex. Karen Madden, TVJ Sports.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.